Let's talk about the UFC. Now, what I'm about to do is tell you the 5 most important fighters in UFC history. I said 5 most important fighters, not the 5 best fighters, 5 most important fighters. Let's get it. Coming in at number 5 is Chuck Liddell. Now, mistake me if I'm wrong, but I want to say Chuck Liddell is the first real star the UFC actually had, the first big star in the UFC. And Chuck Liddell became a star at a really important time. At this time, it was when Mayweather was talking all that shit about UFC, and people was kind of turned off with boxing because they was calling Mayweather like a boring fighter and saying that boxing was boring. At that time, Chuck Liddell was in the UFC knocking shit out. So shout out Chuck Liddell. Coming in at number 4, Ronda Rousey. Now, I know a lot of y'all like to hate on Ronda Rousey now, but at the time, Ronda Rousey was a monster. She was a true monster. Ronda Rousey had sort of like a Mike Tyson effect that it wasn't about if she was going to win, it was about when she was going to win. And Ronda Rousey was a huge star. She was in movies and all that. Some people might say that's the reason why she started losing. And she's the first female athlete that I can remember that was getting paid more than the man. And she was the first female headliner in UFC history. So, shout out to Ronda. Coming in at number 3, Kimbo Slice. Yes, Kimbo Slice. Y'all might be asleep now, but it was a point where Kimbo Slice single-handedly was more popular than the entire UFC. Kimbo Slice is one of the first people to go viral. Matter of fact, YouTube should probably thank Kimbo Slice. Kimbo Slice was extremely popular, and he brought a gang of eyes to the UFC that wasn't on the UFC at first. So, shout out to Kimbo Slice. Coming in at number 2, Brock Lesnar. I think y'all kind of knew this. Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is important for similar reasons Kimbo was important. Brock Lesnar was a huge star in the WWE, and you know WWE been huge since forever. Brock Lesnar is so popular, UFC basically just force-fed him the title. If you think about it, he had one fight, lost, next fight won, after that he was fighting for the belt. UFC knew by making this guy the face and the champion, it was going to take him to a whole nother level. So that's right, shout out to Brock. Coming in at number 1, y'all already know who it is. Conor McGregor. Not only the most important fighter in UFC history, my favorite fighter in UFC history. Conor McGregor, not only one of the biggest stars in UFC history, Conor McGregor, one of the biggest stars I've ever seen in my life. Conor McGregor was so popular, he was putting up record-breaking numbers fighting people that most people can't even remember their name. There'll probably never be a bigger star than Conor McGregor in UFC history. Probably not ever. Conor McGregor, the first double champ in UFC history and one of the biggest stars in combat sports history. Conor McGregor, the number 1 most important UFC fighter of all time. I'm gone.